What's up, YouTube? It's your boy, Jody, Magic Fest Keith, back again with another story time. It's been a while since I did a story time, and now I'm doing content full time, so what better time to have a story than a full time story? When I mean full time, I no longer work in a law office, and I produce magic content full time and, a little bit of this YouTube stuff. And in the part time, I've gotten back to driving Uber and Lyft, which is pretty fun because, as you know, if you've seen some of my previous videos, I drove a cab for 7 years of my life, so almost exclusively at night in New Orleans. So I've seen the craziest crazies, and so to the point where crazy is normal to me, like as much as I've seen, I can relate with just about anything. I can believe it, at least, even if I can't relate, I can believe it. If you say it, I believe it. And, I'm just getting back into driving people around the last couple days. And I've been doing it in the morning time, so not overnight, Not really wanting to drive. I got a brand new car. I don't really want to, to drunk people, man, they tear your car up. So I figured driving during the day would be less crazy. And today, before my stream, I walked outside, checked my mail this morning, and I was like, all right, it's a beautiful day outside. It'd be a nice day to ride around. And yesterday I stayed in, so I was like, oh man, I got to get out, man. It's a beautiful day. I can ride around with my windows down. It's going to be a beautiful, awesome day. So I jumped in my car, boom, turn on the app, Uber, Lyft, get one ride, a little short ride. Somebody's having a good day. All right, cool. How you doing? Yada, yada, yada. Then I get another ping, and I get to the location, and the location is kind of like this medical place. There's a lot of foot traffic, and it's on a dead-end street. It's got a little cul-de-sac at the back. So while I'm driving up, there's a crosswalk, and people are walking, so I stop. And I got my windows down because, like I said, it's a beautiful day, and I hear this lady screaming, "Ah!" into the phone, and I'm like, look over, and everybody's looking at this lady. And I'm like, I hope that's not the lady I gotta pick up. And if so, I guess we'll find out why she was screaming. So I end up making the circle, come back, I pull over, and sure enough, she walks up. Are you Jody? I'm Jody. She's like, oh, great, you're here. Come on, we gotta go. So she gets in the car, we start driving. She seemed very urgent, she wasn't that excessive about it, but she was just very quick to get in the car, ready to go. And I start to drive. And the first thing I ask her, I'm like, I said, is everything okay? And she just like bottled up for a second, and then she just started crying. And then she was hysterical. She's like, my baby, oh, my baby. I said, listen, it's going to be okay. What's going on? Is everything all right? Like, and she was like, my baby's bleeding. And I was like, what do you mean your baby's bleeding? She's like, she had surgery 3 days ago, and she's bleeding. And she was hysterical, and as anyone would be if their baby was bleeding. I don't even know what that means. I don't know much about medicine. She's coming from like a medical facility. She knows something about medicine. I don't know anything about surgery or medicine. Thank the Lord I've never had any issue like that. But I don't know anything about medicine. I don't take a Tylenol when I got a headache. So whenever it comes to medical stuff, I don't know the possibilities of shit that could happen. So she's like, her baby is bleeding. I have no clue what the hell this means, but I know it's urgent. That's all I know is it's urgent. She's ready to get home, and she's crying. And I said, listen, I got you. She's like, I got to get there as soon as possible. She's calling the ambulance. I called for the ambulance. Is the ambulance there? She's calling her husband. The husband's like, she cannot hear what her husband's answers to her questions are. She doesn't even know what her questions are. She's just like completely out of it. So all I'm doing is jamming it. I'm jamming it. We're going, look, speed limit's 35. We go on 60. All right, boom. I'm going 30 over the whole way. I ran about 2 red lights. She's like, please. And at the same point in time, it's a weird spot because it's like, does she want me to do this? Like, if I'm doing this, because Uber's really weird, compared to the cab. If it was a cab, we're fucking booking it, no questions asked. But we're in the Uber, and like there's a rating at the end, and people get all nervous and shit. And like, not that I'm worried about my rating compared to her getting to her daughter or whatever. But so I'm like, listen, we're getting this motherfucker. I'm getting you there as fast as possible. I'm killing it. Boom. What is it? 45? We're going 70, baby. I'm killing it. This is all residential suburb streets, and I'm like, just hitting it, boom, cutting. It's like I ain't drove like that in a long time. She, like, turned me on. So I was like, man, I got a purpose here. Got to get her there. So I'm driving, running the red lights, cutting the corners, doing it, whip. I'm just, and I remember this one stretch where I'm just like 70, and I thought I saw a cop, and I didn't give a fuck, dude. I was just flying. I'm like, man, we got to get there. And so then, like, and that's all I'm thinking at this point in time. I have no idea, like, the whole idea of what I'm about to roll up on never even occurred to me. So then we pull up, and I pull over, and I remember she said that her baby was bleeding, and they got an ambulance. So I see the ambulance from a couple blocks away, and there's like cops in the parking lot, his apartment complex, and I just pull over in the middle of the street. There's no shoulder, you'd have to pull in. I just pulled over, stopped in the lane, hit the unlock button before we rolled up, and she just jumped out the door while we were still moving. She was just like running, hysterical. And I look up because I'm in the middle of the street, so I got to get going. But then I look up and I just see the father and somebody else who was they were both in white tees, and they were completely soaked in blood. Completely soaked in blood. And I looked at it and I was just like, you know how you stare at shit? People look at the shit, you see an accident on the interstate, everybody wants to slow down and look, bottlenecking traffic. And I just looked and I'm like, and I saw that, I said, I gotta get the fuck out of here. I gotta get the fuck out of here, man. Like, I couldn't, I was like, man, this is nuts. I don't even want to know what happened. I know too much about what happened here. You know, apparently the daughter had surgery 3 days earlier, is what I heard, and and now she's bleeding. I don't even know how that's even possible. I don't know anything about that. But what I do know is that you never know what could happen, and it could happen to anybody. And clearly, this lady went to work. You know, when I picked her up, you know, I was having a great day. You know, it was a beautiful day, and then so you could be having a beautiful day, and many people around you. Some people you wouldn't even know, you know, like those people walking across the street wouldn't have known she wasn't screaming, you know, and so you don't really know what people go through or what events occur in their life. And I just got injected into one real quick. Shit got real quick. And, you know, I drove off, and it's not my issue, you know, like as it relates to, you know, it's not my family and shit. But, man, just like thinking about what people go through and how it could happen to you. And so, like, I don't even know what to say to close this thing out. All I know is, you know, I'm kind of bummed out about that. It was going to be a beautiful day. And so I just kept doing more and more rides, just trying to put the memory behind me. And, you know, I did a little Facebook post about it because I really didn't know what to think. But, I don't know. I kind of wish it wouldn't have happened. But then at the same point in time, I know I'm a beast-ass driver. And if that was somebody else, that lady, she would have had, like, you know, 10 seconds less, you know, 10 seconds more, probably a whole minute the way I was driving, a whole minute more of worrying and uncertainty on her mind, you know. So, like, the least I could do is get her there as fast as possible. So, you know, we got there safe, and, you know, hopefully her child's all right. Honestly, I don't know shit about medicine, so what I saw from the scene that I saw, that's a lot of fucking blood. 2 adult t-shirts filled with blood. If we're talking about a little kid, I don't know how much blood looks like whenever it's, I don't know, but shit did not look good, but I hope everything's okay. And, you know, yeah, definitely, you know, blessings, prayers for her family. And, you know, I don't know if this is ever, if you've ever seen this. I've seen, my dad died in my arms. That was like the only real shit that I ever dealt with, you know, outside of that. So, and that one fucked me up for a good while. But, you know, this one was just like, wow. So, I don't know. If maybe, you know, you need somebody to talk to. So this is kind of my outlet. You know, I'm able to, you know, talk about it. Just figure out, put it in a story time. People are asking about it. It's good to talk about stuff like this because whenever you bottle it up, you know, and you can't really talk about how you feel about something, or at least just get it out of you, you know. Like, that's all I did was do more rides, and every ride I just, like, you know, told the people the story, you know. People wanted to hear it. Like, how's your day? I said, I'm just doing these rides so I could try and forget about the last one. Oh, well, what happened in the last one? It's like, Jesus, I just told you. Fuck. Anyway, I hope y'all enjoy the content. I'm glad to get back on another story time. Make sure y'all check us out. If you like the story, like, comment, subscribe. You know, let me hear a story down below. Maybe a story to cheer me up. Maybe a story, let me know you're going through something similar. I know everybody's going through some shit and have seen some shit. And I thought I saw it all in 7 years of driving a cab. I seen somebody shot in the French Quarter, you know, bleeding on the side of the road. So, like, I really thought I saw it all. But, like, that terrifying in the middle of the day, and the the way that mother looked for her child, oh my gosh, send chills down your back. But like, comment, subscribe. One love, good vibes. Catch you on the next one. Goon Squad.